Greetings and welcome back to yet another episode of the Daily Round, and today we're playing as Azazel. This is one of those easy, sort of say, or maybe easier to play characters than most, and this I still think is just a sorry from Tyrone, because we had that god-awful lost daily not too long ago, so they've been just rewarding us with good dailies and maybe good characters to start out with, and no surprise, this daily actually turns out very strong, and when you're Azazel, that's usually what happens. You get some good items and you can do some nice things with it. Luckily, we even get the Mitre in our first item room, which is obviously a great indication of this run really going places, because it will not only allow us to get more Spirit Hearts and just more survivability. What we really need as an Azazel is some health, so we can actually trade that health for Devil Deals on the next floor and maybe even on the floors after that. And having the Mitre, of course, just allows us to get a lot of those Spirit Hearts, because some Red Hearts will be transferred into Spirit Hearts. With that said, there's really not a lot of discussion to be had here if Azazel is a strong character, because he obviously is. His obvious biggest disadvantage is his short range, and not even just short range in the terms of normal rooms, but short range in terms of fighting like giant bosses like the Hush or Mega Satan. I actually don't have a chance to fight Mega Satan as Azazel very often, just because Azazel doesn't come up that often. I mean, he does come up often, so to say, or as equal as any other character, but just because there's so many characters, you don't see him as often, maybe. So you really don't have a lot of chances to fight Mega Satan with his short range. And even if you do end up picking Azazel, what ends up happening, you get a run that's actually stronger or where you have more range. So for that reason, like, it's very tough to predict just how the Mega Satan fight will go, because I don't remember, like, in the last 100 games if I actually even fought Mega Satan, and let's not if I fought Mega Satan with range as short as Azazel's. So that really produces some problems, I guess I could pull it. But at the same time, Hush is also one of those bosses that is hard to fight as Azazel. I still think that Hush is manageable when you have short range, but Mega Satan really proved to be a problem for me, especially because you can't deal enough damage to him. He starts spawning his little minions, and then because of those little minions, it's just annoying to deal with. And talking about annoying, this room is also very annoying. You can see how these flies kind of bounce around, and the problem here was just the fact that I had a cube of meat. And of course that we have short range. If our range was longer, if we had the brimstone, then there's no problem, we just shoot and that's it. But because of our short range and our cube of meat, it's hard to dodge and navigate the room without actually accidentally hitting something. And even if you do blow something up, there were 4 bomb flies and like the 1 red fly, which still means if they did blow up, that would still end up badly for us. So that was kind of fortunate in the sense that you don't want to see rooms like this, but you can expect a room or two to kind of be like that. And the funny thing is, I actually did have a way out. What actually got me in the end was the fact that I overcommitted a bit. I was a bit too close to the enemy, and that actually exploded in my face. So the previous floor contained the Chaos item, and it's not something that I expect everyone will find just because it was hidden in the second secret room. You only have 1 bomb, and there are 2 possibilities for a second secret room. So I can imagine some people might not find it just because they got unlucky or whatever. And I managed to get enough money to go to the shop and buy the Chaos item. And I don't like the Chaos item. I usually don't buy it. I don't know why I bought it this time. I just felt like maybe it's the seam, and it's maybe something I have to do in order to get a good score. But I wish I stick to my guts, because whenever I pick up the Chaos item, I end up regretting it. Even though this rank was actually pretty strong, and maybe that's due to having Chaos. I still feel like whenever you come into a Devil Deal and you see like items like this, it's so disappointing. I know that's the point of the Chaos, to make things random and maybe more fun or less fun. But at the same time, I hate the fact that it first chooses the pool and then it chooses the item. It makes some items more likely to appear, and I don't like that. I really would wish that the Chaos just worked as a way to just give you a uniform chance of just getting any item in the game, regardless of their pool. I think that way it would be much more fun. So here we did buy Diplopia on the previous floor, but we're just gonna toss it away because there's no real good use for it. At this point I'm so strong, I don't really want to pick any more items up than absolutely necessary, so I don't want to duplicate items and whatnot. So in this situation it would only be good if we got something like a 2 of spades, so we could duplicate that card and then maybe get some additional keys. But as how things are looking now, we're just not really worried about anything. Thankfully, Chaos did manage to get us the 99 keys and bombs. I think that's the Chaos's fault, and so obviously that's great that we're in this position. But what's even more great, that the mob trap room contained Tammy's head, and Tammy's head plus Brimstone plus Guppy. You can imagine that this means that we're in a very, very strong position. We enter a room. If it's not a big room, we just kill the whole room instantly. And something very funny happens when I get to Mom, you'll see. But what ends up happening sometimes with me, I end up in weird situations, at least later on. For some reason, even though like this run has everything you want, Tammy's head, Guppy, I still managed to not visit some rooms, and even then I still managed to kind of be late for Mom, which is just so bizarre to me. I don't know how that happens, but you can see the time is ticking down. We only have 10 seconds left to get to Mom. And thankfully the transition does not actually eat up your time, so that's the only thing that's saving us. We enter the room, we still have to wait for the food to calm down, and we do manage to kill her in like a second, which is either the best play I've made or like the luckiest play I've made. I really have no idea, but I really like the fact that this turned out how it did, because it was at the exact last second. So I'm glad about that. I really felt good about this run just because this happened, and I was like, I not only did I manage to visit like every room, I also managed to beat Mom just in the nick of time. Really, kind of exercised my ability to visit every room. But of course, there's so many players who play so much faster than me that they manage to visit every single room and still manage to get to Mom at like 18 minutes with a run strong as this one. So that's just something that's gonna happen. I really need to work on like my speed, because at this point I really think it's kind of poor. But nevertheless, we are still in this great position. We are on the Womb XL, I think, or Utero XL. So this is a large floor, but there's really no large floor when you have Tammy's head plus Brimstone. You just go through and just use it to get a ton of flies. If you don't kill it, the flies will kill them. And what's even funnier, we don't have any damage ups except Steven, but it's enough with this combination of items to just kind of tear through everything. You can see that enemies and bosses are just dying. We only have 5 minutes remaining, and the fact that we have blue map also allows us to not use too many bombs to find secret rooms. So you can see that our score is actually looking really good. So 30,000 points at this stage. So when we enter this stage, it's 36,000 points. So we're looking at a very probable above 50,000 points run, and I think even better than that. I think this run could go to like 60,000, and I think even higher. Like if someone did manage to find the blank card, maybe if you don't take Chaos, you do get it. That's the ticket to real success and to really get a lot of points. But as it is now, we are maybe in this position that's still very good for us, but I think it could have been better. Like I said, the only problem here is that our range is very small. Our damage is great, but our range against Hush is just not optimal. And the fact that he managed to even hit us 3 times, I think, is more of a testament as to how annoying it is to fight Hush when you have low range. Actually, he managed to hit us 4 times, just because he does spawn those little stumps which shoot you, and he does go underground, and then it's hard to navigate through the shots. I mean, I know it's possible, and I've done it before, but at the same time, just focusing on so many things at once, and just dealing with his constant barrage of attacks and his continuum shots and all those, you're gonna get hit. I think like there's no way around that, especially with this low range. I really like when you can fight Hush and you have a lot of range on him, like a real Brimstone, not just fake Brimstone, and you can deal with him so efficiently. But as it is now, we sadly can't use our Tammy's head to just insta-kill Hush. Maybe we would need something a bit stronger for that. But since this run does go to Mega Satan, it does allow us to get a few more points just for beating Mega Satan than it does if we just went to the lamp. And because we still have Tammy's head here, of course, we're abusing the fact that we can just insta-kill enemies and get a lot of flies, and we're just doing that and just going through the rooms and the motions, just opening all the chests. Because I have the lockpick, it means that I can open golden chests for free, which is obviously a great thing because I'm not wasting keys, which means I'm not wasting any score. So that was kind of lucky in my sense, but it's how these things work out. So I'm glad I managed to find that trinket. So a funny thing here is I actually had scatter bombs, and what actually hit me, I think, about 4 times, just because I was impatient. I put a bomb next to the wall, it exploded, so scatter bombs came out, and because I guess I just forgot I had them, I ran straight for the secret door room entrance, and the scatter bombs hit me afterwards for like half a heart or 1 heart of damage, I'm not sure. But yeah, it was so frustrating because it happened like 4 times on a run, and I was just like, okay, I'm never picking up scatter bombs again. Obviously, I don't think that's what I should do, because I think scatter bombs is a great pickup. At least it's a very fun pickup, especially if you have some bump synergies. But yeah, that was so frustrating because you have this strong run, and the only thing that's hitting you is the fact that you're running into your own bombs. But besides that, the only problem was really that we had this short range, and thankfully that is somewhat alleviated by having flies, and the flies are able to do more long range damage. But you can see just how much we're struggling against Mega Satan here. Like, the best thing is to just kill his arms first. At least that's what I think I've noticed while fighting him, so they don't get in the way, so you can kind of hang out at the top of the screen. But for the second phase, I'm not really sure what's a good strategy. I missed my first charge shot of my brimstone, which leads into me being stuck in a corner and not hitting. If I did hit my first brimstone charge, I think I would be able to get 2 of the sins, but as it turned out, you have to charge it again, and that takes a few seconds because I didn't have any tears ups. So just my advice would be aim better than I did, because I think that's a good way to not get hit as much as I did. But yeah, obviously I still think it was a very hard fight. At least in the sense, I thought he was gonna go over sooner, but again, we did only have 1 damage up, and even though we had this great combination of items, I think this was bound to happen. What I think I should have really done was saved my Tammy's head charge for the second phase and try to insta-kill him. I think that would work, because I think the second phase has less HP in total, and also the second phase is much more dangerous, at least when you're a low range character like Azazel is. So for that reason, I think I should have saved my Tammy's head, and you'll see just how much I'm struggling on the second phase, because some of his attacks are really kind of odd, but at the same time he also doesn't have any arms which he can hit you with, so that's great. Thankfully he's hanging out on the left side of the screen so that theirs can't hit me, and I'm kind of abusing the fact that the floor doesn't actually stop where it seems to stop, so I'm just kind of abusing that to get him and hit him a few times. What's really bothering with me here is the fact that you have to charge your shot for so long, well, not for so long, but some time. And the fact that the shots are splitting, it's so frustrating. But I actually did manage to kind of kill him without getting hit more than once, even in the second phase, even though it seemed like it was kind of hard to do. But yeah, we did manage to complete this whole run, and our damage penalty wasn't super high, but the thing that could obviously have some improving was Shrek bonus, and I think people that did find a breaking combination like Kiara plus Blancard will achieve a 60,000th run easily, and if play better than I did, so I think there are people who could theoretically win this run without getting hit at all. They would be able to get even more, like 65,000 points, and that would obviously be very great. You can see that our rank is actually pretty bad for, I think, how strong this run was, and that's just something that happens when you have a strong run. Eventually people have a strong run too, and because on average I think people do play better on strong runs than I do, you'll see that my rank is actually lower. So I think I perform better on runs that are worse. So yeah, 103rd, which is not a terrible score, not the best score, but what can you do? That's gonna happen. With that said, guys, I thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.